Movies love heroes, chosen ones, warriors, people who rise to the occasion, usually without having to amputate themselves. Because whether it's a man chained in a bathroom with a rusty hacksaw, or a group of well-dressed strangers slowly realizing dessert is moral collapse, nothing says mythic transformation like being forced to choose between your conscience and rent money. Today, we're breaking down Saw versus Would You Rather. This is Real Epic Recap. Like, subscribe. And remember, if someone offers you personal growth through pain, leave the room immediately. The ordinary world. Every hero begins in an ordinary world. Joseph Campbell imagined farms, villages, peaceful ignorance. He did not imagine fluorescent bathrooms. Saw Adam and Dr. Lawrence Gordon wake up chained to pipes in a room that looks like it failed 3 separate health inspections. There's a dead body in the middle of the floor. Nobody questions it at first, which should tell you how bad the vibe already is. This is their ordinary world now. No windows, no clocks, no hope, and a bathtub that looks legally haunted. Would you rather Iris's ordinary world is quieter? She's broke, grieving, tired in the way only capitalism can make you tired. Then she gets invited to a dinner party hosted by extremely rich people who smile like they know how the night ends. Red flag number 1. No one this wealthy throws a party without strings attached. Red flag number 2. The house is too clean. Call to adventure. Then comes the call. The moment where the universe says, hey, your life is about to be different. Saw. The call arrives on cassette tape because Jigsaw is a serial killer who refuses to upgrade technology. The message is simple. You don't appreciate your life, so now you must suffer to earn it. This is less call to adventure and more hostile performance review. Would you rather? The call here is polite, almost gentle. A parlor game, 2 options, one uncomfortable, one worse. And money. So much money. Enough to fix everything. Enough to justify anything. This isn't destiny calling. This is debt calling collect. Refusal of the call heroes always hesitate, because deep down, they know. Once you say yes, there's no going back. Saw Dr. Gordon insists there must be another way, a loophole, a misunderstanding. Jigsaw responds with silence, which somehow feels worse. Refusal lasts until the screaming starts. Would you rather the dinner guests laugh nervously? They convince themselves it's a game, a prank, a rich people thing. Because surely, no one would actually enforce the rules. And then someone refuses, and the consequences arrive immediately. That's when everyone realizes participation is mandatory. Meeting the mentor. Every hero meets a mentor, someone who explains the rules of the world. Sometimes it's a wizard, sometimes it's a knight. Here, it's a psychopath with a philosophy degree. Saw Jigsaw is the mentor. He doesn't show up in person. He teaches through tapes, through traps, through pain. His lesson: suffering makes you appreciate life, which is a bold claim from a man who communicates exclusively through riddles. Would you rather Shepard Lambrick is also a mentor? Refined, polite, dead inside. He explains the game with the calm tone of a man who has already made peace with hell. He doesn't threaten. He offers, which somehow makes it worse. Crossing the threshold. This is the moment when the hero commits, when retreat is impossible. Saw. The threshold is crossed when Adam and Gordon realize this isn't escape room logic. No one is coming. No one is watching for fun. Someone will die. Would you rather? The threshold is crossed with the first punishment. No gore, no theatrics, just certainty. From this point on, every choice costs something permanent. Tests, alleys, and enemies. Now the trials begin. This is where heroes bond, or betray, or lose themselves entirely. Saw the tests are physical, brutal, timed. Allies form through shared terror. Enemies are invisible. Time, fear, the self. Every challenge asks the same question. How much pain is your morality worth? Would you rather hear the tests are psychological? Each round strips away another layer of decency. Friends become threats. Strangers become acceptable sacrifices. No one wants to be first. Everyone wants to survive. Civilization evaporates faster than dignity. Approach to the inmost cave. This is the calm before the breaking point, the moment when the hero understands the truth. Saw the truth is, Jigsaw planned everything, even the hope, especially the hope. The cave isn't the bathroom. It's the realization that pain was the point all along. Would you rather Iris realizes something worse? There is no winning, only lasting longer than the others. The cave isn't physical. It's moral. The ordeal. This is the death and rebirth moment. The thing you can't come back from, unchanged. Saw Dr. Gordon cuts off his own foot. This is the ordeal. The mythic death. The price of escape. Campbell called this transformation. Doctors call it catastrophic. Would you rather Iris makes choices that will haunt her forever? No blood required. The ordeal isn't what she does. It's what she becomes. Reward, seizing the sword. The hero survives, but survival isn't free. Saw, the reward is escape, at the cost of everything else. Would you rather the reward is money, enough to live, not enough to forget? The road back, resurrection, return saw the final reveal. The corpse wasn't dead. The game never ends. The elixir Jigsaw leaves behind is his philosophy. Suffering equals enlightenment, which is one way to justify crimes. Would you rather Iris leaves alive, changed, hollowed, awake? The elixir here is knowledge. Society will absolutely sacrifice you if the check clears. Saw, 2004. The entire movie was shot in about 18 days. Yep, 18. That's barely enough time to emotionally recover from watching it. The tight schedule is why. The camera is constantly moving. Lighting is harsh. Everything feels sweaty and panicked. It wasn't a style choice, it was survival. The bathroom set was reused to save money. The infamous bathroom? It was. Built once, shot from every angle imaginable. Reused repeatedly. If it feels claustrophobic, that's because the crew was also trapped in there. The fake blood was so thick it clogged the drains. They used a very syrupy blood mixture to make it read darker on camera. Problem: it hardened. It clogged pipes. It turned the set into a biohazard realism. Achieved. Destroyed. The actors were actually uncomfortable. The entire shoot, Cary Elwes and Lee Wannell were. Chained for long periods. Lying on cold, wet floors, surrounded by darkness and grime. Lee Wannell has said the discomfort helped the performances because they were genuinely miserable. Method acting via OSHA violations. Lee Wannell wrote the movie and played Adam Ryder. Actor. Guy chained to a pipe for 90 minutes. That means he wrote himself into hell, then stayed there, then edited around it. Commitment. The iconic Hello Zepp theme was added late. That legendary score? It wasn't fully locked in until late in post-production, which means the most famous moment of the movie almost didn't hit as hard. Imagine the ending without that music. Exactly. Unacceptable. The corpse twist was hidden in plain sight. Tobin Bell lay on the bathroom floor for hours at a time. He trained himself to control breathing, not blink, stay perfectly still. That's not acting, that's meditation, but evil. The low-budget forced creative editing because they couldn't afford elaborate effects. The fast cuts, whip pans, jarring zooms were used to imply violence rather than show it. This accidentally created the Saw visual style. Limitations invented a franchise. Saw was originally pitched as a short film. Before the feature, James Wan and Leah Whannell made a short to prove the concept. It focused on the reverse bear trap. That short convinced studios, this is disturbing. Here's money. Jigsaw doesn't technically kill anyone in the first film. In Saw, 2004, Jigsaw sets traps, creates scenarios, forces choices, but he insists they kill themselves. It's twisted logic, but it became his entire philosophy. The ending was filmed in one intense take, the final reveal required. Precise timing, music cue perfection, absolute silence on set. When Tobin Bell stood up, the crew reportedly lost it. That wasn't acting. That was witnessing cinema history. The movie almost went straight to video. Studios weren't convinced it would work theatrically. Then test audiences reacted. Hard. Suddenly, wide-release franchise horror history. The title Saw has multiple meanings. It refers to the hacksaw, the act of seeing Jigsaw sawing people's lives apart. Subtle? Number? Effective? Absolutely. Saw made over $100 million on a roughly $1 million budget, one of the most profitable horror films ever. That bathroom paid for a lot of sequels. The franchise changed modern horror before Saw. Slashers were dominant after Saw. Moral traps, psychological horror. Make a choice, narratives. Love it or hate it. Saw rewired the genre. Would you rather the entire movie is basically one long dinner party? Almost the whole film takes place in one mansion, mostly one dining room. That wasn't just artistic. It was practical. Fewer locations. Smaller budget, maximum psychological pressure. It's proof you don't need monsters, just manners. The game escalates so gradually you barely notice. The early challenges are awkward, embarrassing, mildly humiliating. By the time things turn brutal, you're already invested. That's intentional. The movie traps the audience the same way it traps the characters. Congratulations, you played too. Jeffrey Combs was cast on purpose. Horror fans immediately recognize him. Reanimator, The Frighteners. His presence subtly tells the audience, this man should not be trusted, which makes it even creepier that he's calm, polite, and soft-spoken. Weaponized civility. The tone was inspired by social pressure, not gore. The filmmakers weren't trying to outsaw Saw. The real horror is peer pressure desperation. Watching normal people justify terrible choices. Most of the damage happens before anything violent occurs. The guests represent different survival philosophies. Each dinner guest embodies a response to pressure. Defiance, compliance, manipulation, moral collapse. It's basically a psychology experiment. With catering, the mansion setting is meant to feel too perfect. Everything is clean, bright, symmetrical. The horror doesn't come from darkness. It comes from comfort, which makes the violence feel more wrong, like spilling blood on a white tablecloth. There is no right choice, by design. Unlike some trap-based horror movies, the rules are intentionally vague. The house always wins. The game adapts. Fairness is an illusion. That uncertainty is what breaks people. Brittany Snow took the role because it terrified her. She said the script disturbed her, not because of gore, but because of how plausible the situation felt. The fear comes from, what would I actually do? Which is always worse than watching someone else suffer. The violence is restrained on purpose. Most moments cut away quickly or happen off screen. Your brain fills in the blanks. And your brain is way meaner than the camera. The ending was designed to feel emotionally unfair. No triumph, no catharsis, no moral victory, just survival, and the consequences of it. The movie refuses to reward the audience for watching, which is rude, but effective. The game mirrors real-world power dynamics, money, authority, desperation. The hosts never raise their voices. They don't have to. That's the scariest part. The title is doing most of the work. Would you rather sounds playful, childish, harmless, which makes it hit harder when the choices stop being hypothetical. It's a sleepover game with adult consequences. The film quietly asks the audience to judge themselves. At some point, every viewer thinks, I'd never do that. 5 minutes later. Okay, but maybe in that situation. That's the real trick. It pairs disturbingly well with Saw. Both films ask, what is survival worth? Who decides the rules? When does choice become coercion? One uses traps, the other uses politeness. Same horror, different etiquette. Please subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to hit that notification bell.